Opening hook, powerful scene. The lunchroom was buzzing with laughter and chatter, trays clattered, soda cans popped open, and sports jocks threw fries at each other like toddlers. But in the far corner, near the vending machines, it went deathly quiet. A scream. Then a ripping sound, raw and violent. All eyes turned as three boys surrounded a girl, laughing like hyenas. But a second later, one of them was flying through the air. A sharp crack. The second was on the ground, wheezing, clutching his ribs. The third? Pale and trembling. The shy girl they'd always ignored just made them beg for mercy. Chapter 1: The Invisible Girl. Emily Reyes had always been the quiet one. The kind of girl who moved like a whisper through the hallways. Thin, delicate, always in her oversized uniform sweater and reading some obscure fantasy novel in the corner of the library. She spoke only when spoken to, never raised her hand in class, and kept her head down even in the hallways. She had transferred to Crestwood High 3 months ago after her dad, an ex-army officer, moved the family to this small town to finally settle down. But Emily knew better. Settling down meant starting over, again. New town, new school, same result. Bullies always found her. Chapter 2: The Wolves Find Their Prey. The worst of them was a trio who called themselves the Pack: Josh, Tyler, and Mason. Football players, loud, smug, and cruel. They smelled weakness like blood in water. It started small. They'd throw paper balls at her in math. Block her way in the hallway, making her squeeze past while they laughed. Mute Mouse, they called her. Then they started following her to the cafeteria. Every day, Josh would grab her tray and sniff the food like a dog. "You eat this trash? What are you, a rat?" Tyler would yank her bag off her shoulder. Mason would sit beside her, way too close, whispering disgusting things in her ear just to see her flinch. She never fought back. Never complained. But what no one knew, what even Emily tried to forget, was the way her father had trained her. Years of Krav Maga. Discipline. Restraint. Control. She had promised herself she'd never use it. Until that lunch period. Chapter 3: The Breaking Point. It was Thursday. Emily hadn't eaten all day. Her stomach ached. Her body felt weak. But her mind, it was boiling. The day had already been hard. She had failed her chemistry quiz. The teacher had made her read out loud, and her stutter had gotten worse than ever. Then, in the locker room, someone had scribbled "freak" across her locker with red marker. She sat at the corner table like always. Alone. Then they came. Josh slammed her tray to the floor. Oops. Tyler grabbed her book and pretended to gag. "Still reading this nerd trash?" And Mason. Mason leaned over, whispered, "You ever been kissed, freak?" Then he grabbed her shoulder, hard. Emily jerked back, but before she could stand, Josh moved behind her and yanked the collar of her uniform. Rip! The entire back tore open. Laughter exploded around the cafeteria. Someone whistled. Someone else recorded it. She heard a girl giggle, "She's wearing boy's undershirt." That's when something inside her snapped. Chapter 4: Fire Ignites. Emily stood up slowly. Her face was blank. Her eyes locked on Josh, who was smirking proudly. Without a word, she stepped forward. He leaned in. "You gonna cry?" Crack! Her knee shot up into his stomach, just below the sternum, exactly where her dad had taught her. He flew back, gasping, crashing into a table and knocking over trays and drinks. Tyler lunged at her. She sidestepped, grabbed his wrist, twisted, and drove her knee straight into his ribs. He dropped like a stone. Mason froze, holding his hands up. Yo, chill, it was just a joke." Emily stepped closer. He backed away until he tripped over a chair and fell. The cafeteria was dead silent. Then someone started clapping. Then more joined in. Until the entire room thundered with applause. Emily looked around, breathing hard. Her sweater hung torn, her eyes glistened, but she didn't cry. She turned, picked up her book, and walked out. Chapter 5: The Storm After. The school administration had no idea what to do. The boys were taken to the nurse. Tyler had 2 cracked ribs. Josh was vomiting from abdominal trauma. Mason refused to speak for 2 days. Their parents screamed at the principal, threatened lawsuits. But the video had already gone viral. By the time the principal called Emily in, her story was all over social media. #NewtMouseStrikesBack trended for hours. Students across the country shared their own stories of bullying. A local news station even aired a segment called The Girl Who Fought Back. Emily's father stood beside her during the meeting. "I trained my daughter not to fight but to survive," he said. She warned them. They didn't listen. The school didn't suspend her. In fact, they couldn't. The video showed clearly she didn't attack. She defended. For once, the truth was on her side. Chapter 6: Finding Her Voice. The Monday after, Emily walked into school to something she'd never experienced before. Respect. Some students nodded. Some high-fived her. Even the teachers looked at her differently. She wasn't invisible anymore. She sat at a new table at lunch. 2 girls from drama club asked if she wanted to join their improv team. A boy from computer club said he liked her book and handed her a list of similar reads. She smiled. Not because she liked the attention, but because she had earned it. And not with violence, with courage. She had stood her ground. Chapter 7: The Healing Begins. It took time. Therapy. Talking with her dad. Apologizing to herself for all the years she let others walk over her. She even wrote an article for the school newspaper titled "Why I Didn't Fight Back Until I Did." It got shared by anti-bullying organizations nationwide. Eventually, the Bullies were moved to a different school. Rumor was, Josh never came back to football practice. Tyler dropped out mid-year. Mason? No one heard from him again. But Emily kept growing. She joined the self-defense club and started teaching younger girls how to protect themselves. She got into debate. She found her voice. Final chapter: Message to the world. It wasn't about being strong with your fists. It was about being strong in your spirit. Emily never wanted to be a hero. She just wanted to feel safe in her skin. To walk through a hallway and not fear what waited at the other end. To eat lunch without being humiliated. To exist without apology. In her valedictorian speech 2 years later, she stood proudly before the crowd and said, "Sometimes, life tries to rip you apart in front of everyone. But that's when you find out what you're made of. I'm not the shy girl anymore. I'm the one who got back up." Conclusion: Powerful closing message for YouTube video. Let Emily's story remind you. Yellow circle: no one has the right to break your spirit. Yellow circle: your silence does not mean weakness, it means you're saving your voice for when it truly matters. Yellow circle: and when that moment comes, don't be afraid to stand up, because your courage might just give someone else permission to rise too.